From far and wide, Oilers fans, this is Dolynny TV. And welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on Dolynny TV, guys. You know what? I told you yesterday I'm not going to be available for the game tonight, unfortunately, due to a company Christmas party. Look at me, I look pretty snazzy. I feel good. Of course, you go to a company Christmas party in the part of the province I'm in, you gotta make sure you're dressed a little bit like this, right? Either which way, let's talk about the Oilers a little bit here this morning before we get to the game preview a little later on in the day after morning skate. Essentially what I want to cover today is something I noticed and then did the math on this morning after thinking, that would be a good video topic, and seeing just how much of an issue it is. So there's a couple of layers to this, obviously, but as much as everyone's probably going to look at it from the defensive perspective, I got to look at it from the offensive perspective, because I'm sorry, these numbers are absolutely ugly. So the thing I noticed over the past 4 games is, you know what, we're 2-2, sure, fine, dandy, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. I'm cool with being 2-2. That's good. We're still in the hunt according to the math. It's good. But what we're doing very wrong in the past 4 games, you know what, you could probably go past to the losing streak, to everything, how badly we have A, been outshot, and how little B, we are shooting the puck. That's the thing, right, is you got to look at it from 2 different sides. Yes, you're being badly outshot, but when I give you guys these numbers in a few seconds here, you're going to see just how bad of an effort we're doing to shoot the puck the past 4 games, right, against LA, Anaheim, what would that be, Arizona, and, no, San Jose, pardon me, I don't even know what day of the week it is, and Florida. San Jose, Anaheim, LA, Florida. There we go. Let's get to the math. See, I tried to get ahead of myself. So for the math, it's as simple as this for the Oilers. They're putting up 21.5 shots per game average. Oof. That is ugly numbers right there. I'm sorry, no matter which NHL team you are, on an average of 21.5 shots per night, there's no way, in my opinion, you would ever be higher than a 500 club. Maybe looking at that stat, if anything needs to reel us in and show us, oh hey, maybe we need to realize, oh crap, the Oilers are doing something wrong that we haven't been looking at, that would be the stat right there. And it's deceptive, right? Because the Oilers get a lot of pucks on net. But for us, we know that posts just off the side of the net, right? How many times late in games does Leon Draisaitl rip a one-timer and hit the side of the net? The guy, you know what, he's got a great shot and it goes in when it needs to kind of deal, but it seems to also hit the side of the net just as much. And you talk about guys deflecting it just wide, not touching the goaltender, right? Got to touch the goaltender to get the shot on net. And it's just been a difficult kind of concept to wrap my head around. Watching these past 4 games, sitting here, man, we're really not getting the puck on net. And that all begins with dictating the pace of play. But let's go to the other shots on net stat that I have here, because this will show you exactly what's happening when it comes to dictating the pace of play. Even when we might be absolutely controlling the play, we're still giving up shots again. So that's just hockey. You can run a team around for 20 minutes in a period, unless you're Detroit in 05-06 and a couple other teams since then. You're not really going to put up 20 shots and not allow any shots against in the first period, second period, third period, unless you're facing the Oilers, so it seems, and that's where I got that Detroit reference from. So shots against for the Oilers, an average in the past 4 games, right? I'm looking at it because I really noticed it in that stretch of games. I've tried to watch every single game. That Florida game, a mess on Sportsnet West. I went to the mall, so maybe I don't fully understand the Florida game, and that's fine. I will own up to whatever you guys have to say about the Florida game in the comment section below. However, 32 shots per game averaging against for the Oilers at this point in those past 4 games. That's horrendous. When you compare that to a 21.5 game shots per game average, that's a 10.5 shots against extra you're giving up in comparison to the shots you're putting on net. Now, like I said, beginning to set this stat up, there's no way with that simple comparison in the past 4 games you should expect, or you can expect, or you can even think that the Oilers should be higher than a 500 club in this season or in the past 5 games, past 8 games, whatever you want to look at for a metric over the past. There's no reason the Oilers should be a winning club based on those stats. If you're going to get outshot 10.5 shots per game, it doesn't matter league average goaltending, right? If league average goaltending is happening on the other side, that's only going to be 2 goals against and a .904 save percentage on 21.5 shots. And on our end, we're giving up 3 goals and a .904 save percentage. So balance it out, right? There's a vast difference. There's a vast difference in what these shots are telling us. And it's a very, very ugly metric for the Edmonton Oilers if you're saying, hey, you know what, we just need to go out there and dictate the pace of play. Obviously, that's what you need to do if you're the Oilers. However, in the past 4 games, even though that's been the message, the play, which you got to look at as a direct result of shots as well. Yes, you can compare a couple other things, who's hitting the most, who's doing that. But hockey's not a game of who does one thing right and who does everything else wrong. It's about who does the most right compared to how little they do wrong. And when you're talking about the Oilers, obviously the main complaints, right? Lucic just does nothing out there most nights. Guys are playing sloppy defense. Well, sloppy defense will lead to shots against. And yes, you can probably blame a good 10%, or not 10%, 30% of those shots on sloppy defense. I'm not going to argue with you on that. However, what I said is we have to take it from the other side. That's the point of this video. We have to take it from the other side, and we have to look at the shots against compared to the shots for. And the shots for are absolutely brutal. And what is that? What is going on there? Connor McDavid, I think the stat I read before coming on, I don't have the stat on the tab anymore, I'm not going to worry about trying to find it, has 145 shots this year. So I'm going to pull up a calculator and I'm going to give you on what we've played. Let me go back and bang, bang. So we've played what? Let's go into this game. Of course, it's not going to give me our record. So 45 games, somewhere in there. That Florida game really messed up my math. I'm sorry. That's brutal. But 145 shots in save, and Connor McDavid's played 43 games. That's 3.37 shots per game. So Connor McDavid, and if you're anyone that knows anything about the Oilers stat sheet at the end of the night, you know Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl is in the mix most nights, and Darnell Nurse are the guys with the most shots for us per game. Darnell Nurse, yes, he's taking more because he's on the top pair, so you could argue Clefbaum's a guy who has more shots per game as well. But when you're talking 3.37, Darnell Nurse putting on about 4 shots per game, and then Draisaitl putting on 2, well, 2 plus 3.5 plus 4, that's 9. That's 9.5 shots per game. So you're talking out of 21.5, you've got 3 guys combining for almost half of your shots for per game, especially if you add Clefbaum back into the mix. Okay, give him 3. Now that's 12.5. Well, suddenly that's more than half just with 4 players alone. Yes, your star players have to be your star players night in, night out. That's why they get paid the big bucks. But that goes back to my point that I've made about the Oilers and everybody saying we need depth scoring. I will agree 100%. Yes, the depth guys have to put pucks in the net. But it's not a lack of depth scoring. It's a lack of depth finish, right? That's what I'm trying to get with this metric here by arguing this is if you don't finish, A, it's either not going to be a shot on net, or B, it's not going to go in if it's not a shot on net. And it comes down to if you don't finish, right? So you can take the shot. You know what? Our guys, our depth guys, you watch them night in, night out. They're directing pucks on net. But do you know how many go wide? How many hit a defender in front? How many are blocked? Obviously, that's another metric I wish I had. Shots blocked against the Oilers. That would be a great one to give you to kind of balance out these numbers a little bit. But you look at that, right? You think about that possibility and you think about, okay, well, Obviously, we know what McDavid's doing. Obviously, we know what Nurse is doing. We know what Draisaitl's doing. Clefbaum was doing great. So you scratch those guys out of the equation and you start talking, well, all right, you've got 9 shots per game to play with amongst 14 other guys in the lineup. What? Obviously, there is something else to this metric that I don't have in front of me. I will not hide that from you. Obviously, there is something else that I should be arguing that I should find, but I don't think I can find that just easily online. But look at that. That is a messed up situation where you've got 4 guys taking more than half your shots per game when they're all in the lineup, and you're getting outshot by 10.5 shots per game. So for the Oilers, the one thing I think I got to say is get Gretzky in the locker room. Because there's this great quote, right? There's a great quote by Gretzky that is going to make a difference for the Oilers. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Obviously, the Oilers are missing a lot of shots they do take, but they also got to sit there and think, man, just direct the puck on net. Because if other teams are doing it against them, right? Obviously, the way to beat the defense for a lot of teams against the Oilers is just throw the puck on net. With Cam Talbot or Mikko Koskinen in net and the defense around them, there's a chance to get the puck back of the net, 30% of the time usually, depending on the game. So balance it out. I think this shots per game metric for and against is just absolutely ugly for it, and that's really all I got. If you want to know why the Oilers are a 500 club, that is the stat that I will argue is most important looking over the past 4 games and more broadly into the season. Anyway, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. I will catch you in the next one.